Thanks for tuning in. I'm Alex Crypto. Today I wanted to talk to you about an article that I have up on my website that I wrote a few weeks ago about DigixDAO. DigixDAO is an interesting project that is giving us two currencies, which are DGD and the DGX. One of them is obviously gold backed. So it's an interesting project and it's based on the Ethereum blockchain. The DGX token is equivalent to 1 gram of gold. So you can own, save, transact in gold tokens here. And then there's the DGD, which is the governance token. Here it talks about both of their tokens right here. So DGX, the gold-backed cryptocurrency counterpart to DGD, will be sold on Digix's own exchange, which I can only assume is some sort of a new crypto gold market. I guess they're still working on it, it's not yet released. Now, in the name of full disclosure, I do hold some DGD tokens. I do hold the governance token. There's a reason for that. Besides this company, DigixDAO, being one of the first, if not the first, offering this new proof of asset, gold-backed cryptocurrency stuff, their governance token, which is the DGD DigixDAO token, itself is a pretty rare token. There are only 2 million tokens in existence. In comparison, there are like 21 million bitcoins. So this is 10 times more rare, if not more. That makes it pretty valuable. So another interesting thing about this project is that, the gold-backed cryptocurrency could be a new version of the stablecoin. Now, obviously, there's a lot of controversy surrounding Tether and other stablecoins, and I'm sure you've heard all of that. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that. They obviously had the Tether and the whole Bitfinex drama, where they were accused of printing out Tethers when Bitcoin price was dropping to buy up Bitcoin on the cheap, but Tethers that weren't really backed by dollars. So many people were afraid that this controversy was going to bring down Tether, and everybody was kind of waiting for a new stablecoin. And this gold-backed DGX token, which is not really out, but I did hear some rumors that they might have released a few of them, like maybe a few hundred or a few thousand. I'm not sure. Pegged one DGX token to 1 gram of gold. And what's interesting about this is you could even redeem this DGX token for actual gold. Their holdings of gold are audited by a quite respectable third-party auditor. So every DGX token that comes out, will be audited by a very respectable company that's quite trustworthy. Anyways, so when DigixDAO was released not too long ago, back in July, it already spiked in price. In fact, let me zoom out here. I mean, the chart does go back to July 2016 even. Back then when it first came out, it was already like $10, so. And then by the 3rd of April in 2017, it was already $16. And then by June 2017, it was already at 95. And when I got into it, it was about 198 bucks, which was around January of this year, 2018. And look at the progression of this thing. I mean, this thing took off like a rocket ship. It peaked over here at $586.58. It's not a surprise like that it mooned that quick, because there's really only 2 million of them. I mean, that says it for itself. I mean, think about it. Bitcoin, there's 21 million of those, and that's around $10,000 a piece. This thing is only $343 for a brand new cryptocurrency exchange that's going to have its own cryptocurrency that's pegged to actual physical reserves of gold with their new proof of asset cryptocurrency platform. And I heard they're actually changing that. Let's check out the news here. I think they had some announcements of that. They are doing some UI UX feature improvements on their gold wallets. So I guess that's what it's going to look like. I haven't really seen the program because it's not out yet. They're still working on it, but it should be out soon. I'll definitely make a separate video when it comes out, because I'm definitely excited about this project. So they did change the protocol's name from Proof of Asset, POA, to Proof of Provenance, POP. And they wrote, "We are changing the name of our proprietary protocol from Proof of Asset, POA, to proof of provenance POP, and will be using the latter in all public references henceforth. We have taken this move to avoid confusion given that POA as an acronym is commonly used to refer to the proof of authority consensus algorithm. We want to minimize the risk of readers and users mistaking our protocol for the proof of authority when we use the acronym POA, since our protocol at its core addresses the issue of proving the existence of the physical asset, gold in the first instance of DGX 2.0, and the authenticity of its ownership. Proof of provenance POP as a name accurately captures the essence of our technology, while avoiding the confusion that could be caused by identical and popularly used acronym. So basically they just want to avoid confusion, so that's quite understandable. So I guess their exchange, there's something big happening. This I guess is the white list for their gold exchange, and I guess it's opening up in 1 day and 6 hours. I definitely want to stay up to date with this because I'm very excited about this gold-backed stuff coming out. So DigixDAO, the DGD governance token, which is the one I love trading, currently stands at $343.01. So let's take a look at the trading view chart now. Let's do a little TA. Let's see where it's at now. Currently it's at $339.79, and I'm looking at the Binance. This is the 12-minute graph. So what I want to do is establish to see if I could see any type of algorithm pattern here in the chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out a little bit and start looking for, for different fib levels. I'm going to draw some lines and I'm going to start establishing the fib zones. So here's a 3-hour chart for DigixDAO on the Binance, and I drew my Fibonacci levels. Now, like I mentioned in my previous video, I've customized my own levels based on my previous experience with the cryptocurrencies or different charts. Like for example, these are not real fib levels right here, like 70, 87.6, 15.3, 33. I've stuck all of those in there myself because I've noticed a lot of the time they'll retrace past certain points due to the fractal nature of the algorithms that are doing the trading. So let me give you an example here of what I'm ranting on about. Just a quick little drawing I guess I could do for you guys so you could kind of get a picture of what I'm talking about here. Let me use a little bit of a line tool maybe. No, let me use the Elliott impulse wave. So let's say you have an impulse wave, right? So you have the run up and then it retraces downward, right? So let's say it goes down to here, which is the let's say it retraces 88% down, which is what I usually see with a lot of the cryptocurrencies. So now it's going to go back up, but it's not going to go all the way back up. Let's say this is a correction wave, right? So it's going to stop right here. It's going to bounce off. It's going to come back down. Again, 88%, and then go back up. And go like this. So basically you should be able, and again, this from this side to this I'm not representing all 5 Elliott waves here. I'm just showing like this could be 5 waves and this is 3 waves down and this is 5 waves, like whatever. I'm just making a representation. I'm not representing an Elliott wave. This is just a graph going up and down. So what I'm saying is you could see the graph make a run up and then it retraces down to 87.6. Oh, I drew that pretty good. And then it retraces up to 15.3 and then back down. And then it basically keeps repeating this pattern. Not this cleanly, of course, but I'm just trying to get you to understand the idea. And it keeps doing that ad infinitum until it runs out of these fractal breakdowns, and then it explodes either up or down. So, depending on the strength of the market, where the RSIs are, where the orders are, where the buyers are. But I just wanted to basically demonstrate what I'm kind of looking for and kind of take you through the process of what I do here. Now, some people may say it's crazy, but hell, everyone has different methods. This is what works for me. I'm just brainstorming here. Anyways, So here's me looking for these fractal breakdowns. Now this is the 1 hour chart. So I drew the big fib lines on the larger time scale, and now I'm zooming in. So now I'm looking for these patterns. So let's look on the run up. Let's see if I noticed any sort of a pattern. Well, let's go back a chart first and let's analyze this whole chart. So we have from the floor when DigixDAO first came out. So we'll call these lines here bull traps. So we'll ignore them. So it runs up, it runs up, it runs up, boom, goes down, boom, goes up. So there we go, we have 100%. So this is the top of the peak, and now we've began the retracement. So we go down to the golden zone, 61.8, bounce off, hit the 33%, go back to the golden zone. So it looks like we've started an ABC correction, I suppose. You saw the first set of Elliott waves here, and I mean this is what I meant earlier too, by the way. If you notice the retracement here, 87.6 and about 78%, and then for wave 2 same thing, 87.6. well, let me just 87.6, right? Go to the wave 4. Now this one will be different because now we're starting a downward wave, but even then it's still retraced 78.6. Although it's not finished its retracement, there's going to be one more push down, and I think that last push is going to stop somewhere there. Exactly. Let's tighten up this buy zone. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So that's and then we'll start again our wave. But anyways, that's long term. Let's go back. So I'm looking for these fractal breakdowns, right? I'm looking, and I'm noticing. Let's look at the runs up first, so you could see what I'm talking about. So again, we saw on the larger time scale. So here we go again. We do run up to the top, and then we retrace 78.6%. And then we come back to this other red line, and that's why I colored these two levels red, because that's the levels that usually bounces off of, like I explained before. Then we go to the 50, then the 33, bounce out, and then explode. It ran out of these fractal patterns. See? Let's see if we move the line. See? Boom, retraced. See? Boom. It's the same pattern. It's the same fib numbers over and over again. Up to the top, down to the 78. Here it is again. Oh, hold on. Click undo. So keep it moving again. We run up to the top, down to the 78.6, back to the top. Run up to the top, down to the 61. That was a really bullish wave. Absolutely bullish. Although if you look at the sub wave, like now we retrace to 87.6, and we keep doing this. It's the same pattern repeating itself on every scale, up to the top, down to 87.6 or 78.6. You know, I probably said usually I would set my stop orders higher than the red line at like 78.6, because I mean, just because the price dips that low doesn't mean you're gonna get your order filled. You know what I mean? So that's yeah. So basically, keep it moving. Now we're on the retracement downward, and these runs will be a little bit different than the waves up, Elliott waves down. So run up to the 100, and then we're back to the 50, to the 15, and a push down. Right? So I'm trying to see if I can establish some sort of a pattern here. We run up, down to the 50, double top, and a push down. Starting to see a pattern here. Okay. Up to the top, down to the 50, and a push down. So I would probably expect a push down. So let's see what happens. It'll be an interesting experiment, and I always call it an experiment because this is not what the pros do. This is just something that I've been noticing, and I've been experimenting with it, and it's been working for me. And I mean, it's no miracle that Fibonacci's work, but this is, I believe this is how the computer algorithms trade, I do like this fractal fib breakdown, I guess you could call it. So I would legitimately expect the retracement to finish somewhere here. And like I was showing in this chart, we could be on our leg down. We saw the correction wave. We saw the A wave, and then the A to the B, that's the second wave, and then the B to the C is where I would expect it to go. And based on past retracements on this graph, I expect it to retrace down 87.5%, or at the very least 78.6%, somewhere in that price level. But hold on, I have two fib things that's making it confusing. Right, so I would expect it to retrace down somewhere here, yeah. Let me just flip this back. When you're talking about Elliott waves downward, you want to flip your graph, obviously, so the 100% is at the bottom, or at least that's how I like it. Everyone has their own preferences. As long as the methodology produces profit, you can't really argue with that, can you? Anyways, I would expect the price to continue dipping to somewhere 195 bucks, or maybe even lower. So it'd be interesting to see where DigixDAO goes over the next week. We'll definitely stay tuned. I'm Alex Crypto. Check out the website at alexcrypto.com and have a good night. I'll see you guys later.